This is Southbridge Community Television, coming to you from the annual Redcoats and Rebels weekend at the Old Sturbridge Village in Sturbridge, Massachusetts. What is Redcoats and Rebels, you might wonder? Simply the largest Revolutionary War reenactment in New England. But this is not exclusive to New England. Did you know there are over 40,000 participants throughout the U.S. dedicated to preserving our history? Travel with us today as we venture into rural New England life from the 1790s to around the 1830s at the largest living history museum in New England. Did you know that it was the love of antiques and fine furniture by Southbridge businessmen Albert, Cheney, and Channing Wells, sons of George Washington Wells, founder of the American Optical Company, that created the Old Sturbridge Village vision? The Wells family, along with others, formed the Wells Historical Museum in 1935. They will be encamped on the village common. We will witness recreated skirmishes and battles between the British and the Americans, along with their allies, like the French. We'll see what life was really like for the brave men and women on the battlefields.
So what are some of the hurdles that you have to overcome in these battles, beyond just staying alive?
Well, there's a lot of fences down there. So we've got a lot of fences to climb. Trying to hear the commands of our officers over the gunfire and the commands of the other officers, and not mixing up commands. Hoping that our officers know what they're doing. That's really the hardest part right there is making sure that they know what they're doing.
And space is a problem. Space is it's a very tight battlefield with obstacles, so it's difficult to maneuver. And cannons also make a big difference.
They take up a lot of space.
They take up a lot of space.
Can't get too close.
Today, and you would give letters. Hey, do you guys have a ship going back to Europe? It takes a letter to my wife. Did you get any mail from my wife? Did anyone send me anything? Did you got the newspaper? And they would actually hang out. And even after the defeat at Yorktown, when officers were all prisoners, they were playing cards and hanging out with the officers. And the Americans were just getting, well, they're going to turn on us. They're going to betray us. And the French and the English, that's just been the culture that warfare was more of a game of chess. It was more of an honor thing between kings.
Everyone had an important role to play, from the cooks, the flag bearers, to the fur traders, and so much more.
Hi, welcome to the Rehoboth tent. We're from the 13th Rehoboth. I'm the laundress. I do laundry and I also do the cooking for the camp. Today we're having all leftovers, so whatever we had left over from yesterday, so we have a lot of chicken left over. They're just going to pick at it. We had some of the cucumbers, and we also have some lettuce, and it's just a hodgepodge of what we did not have used yesterday. The hardest part is if you had children, or even if you didn't, I have to carry everything that I own on my back. The Army is not allowed to carry that. So when I fill up my pack, which is that basket over there, it's about 60 pounds when I'm all done. If I happen to be pregnant and I happen to have a baby on the road, if I can't keep up with the Army, I'm lost. I'm done. Once my husband dies, if he dies in a battle, I would be drummed out of the service. You can't stay. Well, what do? You're 200 miles away from home. Are you going to go back to your home? Did the British take it over? Did they burn it? I don't own it. He owned it, so now it's not even mine. So what am I going to do? I have nowhere to go. So I just try to follow them as best as I can and try to kind of barter, but then I'm shoot off, and you just kind of, sadly to say, it's either some community took you in or you just stole from the dead, did the best you could.
So I see a lot of furs here on the ground. Would you like to tell us about?
Absolutely. So I caught all of these in Ledyard, Connecticut myself. The first one up is the beaver. It's missing its tail because that just falls away and disintegrates fairly quickly. It's just a lump of fat in between a nice piece of skin with a couple of pulley tendons on there. It just goes up and down. The otter. has the second highest fur count in the animal kingdom, second only to his cousin, the sea otter. This would have been fantastic for gloves and been very expensive back in the day because these animals will keep you warm even when wet. This is the mink used for rich people's coats, especially the women. Very nice, very good for scarving. Next up is the bobcat. Prices primarily go by the length of him and how beautiful his belly would be. Very vicious creature, so if you get one, it might attack you.
We hope you've enjoyed this journey back in time to the Old Sturbridge Village, a living history museum conceived in Southbridge by one man's desire to preserve history, right in our own backyard. A great place to visit any time of year. Contact your local Jacob Edwards Library to find out how you and your family can visit for free. Thank you for joining us.